welcome to Lorna's kitchen. Today we're going to make a pork stir fry. Really easy, really tasty and fast to do. So the ingredients we're going to use some pork loin, we're going to use broccoli, sugar snap peas, some green beans and some noodles. And then we're going to make a little dressing made with soy sauce, honey, kind of Asian styled flavours. You don't have to use pork. If you want to make it vegetarian, you can just use vegetables, or if you want to use beef or chicken or prawns, anything like that goes. But today I'm using pork. So we're going to start with the pork, we're going to marinate that in the sauce, and then we'll start prepping our vegetables. We're going to start off with making the sauce. Some nice flavours in there. So we've got some ginger here, some chilli, garlic, lime, we're going to use the juice and the zest of the lime. Got some coriander here as well. Now I know that coriander is not everyone's flavour, so if you don't want to use it, you don't have to. And then ingredient wise for adding to that, we've got dark soy sauce, runny honey, cider vinegar and toasted sesame oil. Now cider vinegar is not something you'd usually put into a dish like this because it is more Asian flavours. You'd usually use something like rice wine vinegar or mirin to kind of sweet and sour it up, but we're using the cider vinegar because it's much more ready available in shops everywhere rather than these kind of more specialised ingredients. So what you're looking for here in any kind of Asian flavoured dish is you're looking for sweet, sour and salty. So we have that here, we've got salty, we've got sweet and we've got sour. All that together harmonises and makes a kind of umami flavoured sauce. We start off by cutting our vegetables. Now ginger, bit of an awkward one to peel, so use a spoon, and you just drag a spoon along the skin and that peels it for you. Stops you having to lose a lot of ginger by using a knife or a peeler. Just scrape it back with a spoon really easily. These are all weighed ingredients, so we're going to cut them all and then weigh them out. I always remove seeds from chilli. The seeds make it much hotter. And again, with something like the chilli, all chilies are different. You have different heats of different chilies. Therefore, know what chili you're using. This is just a basic red kind of chili you'd get in any supermarket. If you like it spicy, add more. If you don't like it too spicy, add less. I like it spicy, so I'm adding a whole chili. You want to cut this as fine as you can, so we'll go along julienne and then back on itself. That goes into your bowl. So next, you've got your ginger, your garlic and your lime. So this is called a microplane. It's a very fine grater. You can use the finer side of your cheese grater if you have one, or you can purchase a microplane on Amazon for about £10. So we're going to use the zest of the lime. So you just pull your lime down there. The zest gives it that real kind of fresh, zingy flavour. So the zest of one lime in there. And then same with your garlic, you're going to finely grate that. And again, you can just use the back of your cheese grater for this. The finest size possible. And then ginger. Ginger, we're going to grate this and then we're going to use 10 grams. Perfect. And then dump your microplane so you can get rid of that. Next, we're going to use the lime juice. I'm going to squeeze all of the juice of that lime in there. This also helps with part of your sour flavour in your sauce. Next we'll go to our coriander. As I said, if you don't want to use this, you don't have to. I like coriander, but it's a very love-hate ingredient. You can either leave it out or you could use something, you get Thai basil, or you could use normal basil. I find coriander works really well. Okay, we're going to put 10 grams of this in as well. Okay, next up we're going to add all our other flavours to the sauce. So, you start with your soy sauce. Doesn't have to be this Blue Dragon. You can use Kikkoman, you can use own brand supermarkets, doesn't matter. As long as it's dark soy, because it gives that really kind of salty flavour. So we're going in with 40 grams of this. Now if you want to get ahead the night before, you can. You can do all this the night before and marinate your pork beforehand. But as long as it's marinating for at least 20 minutes, you should be fine. 20 grams of your honey going in there. If you don't have scales, you can use things like tablespoons. Just know that we've got 40 of that, then half the amount of that, and then half the amount again of this. Sorry, my mistakes, 30 grams. So 30 grams of honey in there. $20 grams of your vinegar. And then 20 grams of your toasted sesame oil. You've got that good mix, get it all marinated nicely together. And make sure that oil's mixed through really well. That is the hardest part of this whole thing done. And that wasn't difficult. So, next up, we've got pork loins here. Now, as I said, you can use any meat you want. It doesn't necessarily have to be a pork loin either. If you want to buy some pork to cut into strips or anything like that, then by all means you can. I will remove any of this sinew here because it becomes quite chewy. So you've just got the lean pork. You want to cut your pork as thin as you possibly can because you're going to cook it as fast as you can. Stir fry, so things get cooked very fast. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put all that pork into that sauce there. And then just give it a good mix round. So you're going to let that marinate now for roughly 20 minutes. Alright, so now we're going to cut up our vegetables. So stir fry you want to cook really fast. So what we're going to do here is, I have broccoli. I've got broccoli. I have sugar snap peas. I've got green beans. Red onion. Pepper. Completely up to you what vegetables you use. You can use anything you like. These are the ones I in particularly favour. So broccoli, use tenderstem, I prefer it. Snip a little bit off the bottom, then that one's quite nice and thin anyway, so we don't really need to do too much to that. And this broccoli here, I'm just going to cut it down the middle slightly, just to make it slightly thinner, easier for us when we're cooking. This is not a necessity, but it's possibly the chef in me. With sugar snap peas, I always tend to nip the top and pull off these little stringy bits. Sometimes it can be a little bit tough in your mouth. Not a necessity. I just can't help myself with little things like this. So I'm putting the broccoli, the sugar snap peas and the green beans into a pot just because they're a slightly firmer vegetable. Now stir fry, you should just be frying all your vegetables, but I tend to pour some hot water over the top of them, just boiled from the kettle, just to help them start off, just in case your pan's not hot enough and it starts to stew the vegetables. I like to give it a little bit of a head start with some hot water. Green beans, you're just going to nip both ends off like that, straight into your pan. So all vegetables, relatively easy to prep. Next up, pepper. So you just want to remove your core. And then cut these as fine as you can. And then our red onion. I tend to use red onion because it's slightly sweeter. I think it's better in a stir fry than a white onion, but preference is yours. And then again, onion as fine as you can. Some spring onions here as well. We're just going to use them as a garnish when we finish the dish, just to get a bit of freshness again. Again, just as nice and fine as you can. Once your kettle is boiled, you're going to pour some hot water over your vegetables just to get them started, don't cook them. And then we're going to boil up these egg noodles as well, ready for going in our sauce. Pork's been marinating now for 20 minutes, it's ready to start cooking. Okay, so you get your vegetables here, boiled the kettle, and I'm going to pour that onto the vegetables. And this is just to start them off slowly, because they're not quite as fine as the other stir-fry vegetables, we want them to cook nicely. Got your egg noodles in the back here. Again, pour some hot water onto them, and then we're going to cook them slightly until they become loose and cooked. It'll only take about 1 minute. So you have a wok here. If you don't have a wok at home, use something that you can get a lot of heat into it, that's going to be easiest. Just realised that my pan's about to break. My god, it's my favourite pan, I use this for everything. Okay, so a little bit of veg oil into there. Now you need an oil that can get to a hot temperature, so things like vegetable oil, rapeseed oil, sunflower oil. Don't use anything like an extra virgin olive oil or an olive oil. You can't get the heat hot enough. Therefore, vegetable oil in there is best. You want to leave that there a good 2 minutes, let it get really hot. I've not got any salt in this water or this water, which usually you'd always add salt to your vegetables and your noodles and stuff. Because we're using a lot of soy sauce in the sauce, you don't want to add any salt, it'll just become too salty. Then we start off with our onions in there. Your pan starts to sizzle, you know it's hot enough. So at this point, everything's going to be quite fast. Get your peppers in there. Drain off your broccoli, sugar snaps and green beans. And if you start to smell and see there's a little bit of colour on these, which is what we were looking for. And now we need to strain off our pork. So through a really fine sieve, strain all that off. Make sure you're getting all those juices. Once that's drained off from that sauce, you want to get that in to your wok as well. Whilst that's starting to cook, in this sauce here, just going to add a very small amount of cornflour. Now that's just going to help thicken your sauce so it's a nice coating consistency on your noodles later on. Just whisk that into there. Now that your meat is basically nearly cooked, we're going to go in with our green vegetables. At this point, I'm going to strain off my noodles. So all the sauce that's left on that pork is going to start to coat all these vegetables now and make them all nice and tasty as well. Sort of let that cook there for a couple of minutes, just again to help those vegetables cook a little bit longer. Okay, we're going to go in with our noodles. Everything in here is cooked now, so we're just going to go with our sauce, and that'll start to thicken because of the cornflour that's in there and really nicely coat those vegetables and noodles. So you can see now that it's all nice and the sauce became thickened by that cornflour. You're now ready to start putting this into a plate. So you've got that on the plate, so we'll finish that off with some of your nice spring onions that you cut earlier. And there you have, you got some nice Asian style pork stir fry. Delicious. Thanks for watching my Asian pork stir fry. I hope you enjoyed it. There's plenty more to come, so if you'd like this video and you want to see more, hit the subscribe button, get notifications, see when we're posting our next one. Thanks very much, goodbye.